From massive creatures vanishing without a trace to a whale that talked. These are the 10 most mind-boggling mysteries about whales that have baffled historians and scientists for centuries. Could these creatures hold secrets from the deep we still can't explain? Let's dive into the unknown and uncover the truths behind these oceanic enigmas. 1. The Leviathan. For thousands of years, sailors whispered of a sea monster so terrifying that even the bravest men trembled at its name. Leviathan. Described in the Bible and ancient Jewish texts, this beast was said to be a whale-like creature with armored scales, burning breath, and eyes that glowed like the sun. Unlike any known whale, Leviathan was believed to be unkillable, capable of swallowing ships whole and setting the sea ablaze with its fire. But what did ancient people really see? Some historians argue that the story of Leviathan could be based on real encounters with prehistoric whales, possibly species that have since gone extinct. Others believe it was an exaggerated account of sperm whales, known to spray mist from their blowholes. Mist that, under the right lighting, could resemble smoke or fire. Yet, the most chilling theory suggests that Leviathan wasn't just a myth. In 1848, the HMS Daedalus encountered a serpentine creature over 60 feet long, unlike any known marine animal. Could Leviathan have been a relic of an unknown species, lurking in the darkest depths of the ocean? And if so, could it still be out there? 2. The beached whale of Delphi. In 500 BC, the people of Delphi, Greece, awoke to a terrifying sight. A massive whale carcass lying miles inland, near the sacred oracle of Apollo. The problem? Delphi was far from the sea. No rivers connected it to the ocean. The creature's presence was impossible. Ancient texts described the whale as enormous and deformed, unlike anything seen before. Priests declared it a sign from the gods, warning of impending disaster. Days later, a powerful earthquake struck Greece, destroying villages and shaking the very foundations of Delphi. To the Greeks, the two events were connected. The whale was a harbinger of doom. But how did it get there? Some believe the earthquake caused a massive tsunami, carrying the whale inland, though no records mention such an event. Others suggest a hidden waterway once existed, connecting Delphi to the sea, a passage lost to time. But the most unsettling theory: the whale wasn't dead when it arrived. It may have crawled there, proof that ancient oceans held creatures we still don't understand. The carcass mysteriously vanished within weeks, with no remains ever found. Did Delphi witness something science cannot explain? Or was this a glimpse into an unknown past? 3. The ghost whale of the Norse. In the frozen waters of the North Atlantic, Viking sailors feared one creature above all: the Fitkalfa, the ghost whale. Described in Norse sagas, this massive white whale would appear in the dead of night, gliding silently beside ships. But those who saw it were cursed. Storms followed, compasses spun wildly, and entire vessels vanished without a trace. Unlike normal whales, Fitkalfa left no wake. It was said to emit an eerie glow, and when pursued, it would simply fade into the mist, as if it had never existed. Viking legends claimed it was a spirit of the sea, an omen of death sent by the gods. Some believed it was the ghost of a whale killed by early hunters, doomed to wander forever. But what if it was something else? Could Fitkalfa have been an unknown species, an ancient albino whale lost to time? Modern reports of glowing, bioluminescent sea creatures raise questions. Was the ghost whale real, a phenomenon misunderstood by ancient sailors? Or does something unnatural still lurk in the icy depths, waiting for the next ship to cross its path? 4. The lost city of the whale people. Long before European explorers arrived in the Americas, whispers of a vanished city spread among coastal tribes. It was said to have been built around a whale that fell from the sky, a beast so massive that its bones formed the foundations of temples, its ribs arching over streets like pillars. But the city didn't last. It was swallowed by the earth, leaving behind only myths. Anthropologists have long dismissed this legend as metaphor, but strange evidence suggests otherwise. In 1912, Explorers in Patagonia discovered enormous whale bones buried deep inland. Hundreds of miles from the ocean, the bones were arranged in unnatural patterns, almost as if they had once supported a structure. Even stranger, early European accounts mention an indigenous group that worshipped a whale god and claimed their ancestors had lived within a whale city before it was destroyed. Could an ancient civilization have truly built a city around a beached whale, only for time and nature to erase it? Or did an unknown event, perhaps a massive tsunami, carry a whale impossibly far inland, leaving behind the bones of a lost world? The city remains undiscovered, but the mystery refuses to die. 5. The unkillable beast of St. Brendan. In the 6th century AD, the Irish monk St. Brendan and his crew set sail in search of paradise. After weeks at sea, they spotted an island covered in lush vegetation, its rocky surface a welcome sight. They made camp, lit a fire, and began cooking. But then, the ground trembled. The island was moving. Before they could react, the land beneath them lurched forward, and the men were thrown into the sea. As they watched in horror, the island rose from the water, revealing a colossal whale-like creature, its back covered in moss and trees. It dove into the depths, vanishing into the ocean. Brendan called it Gisconius, a beast so large it was mistaken for land. But could such a creature have really existed? Some historians believe early sailors misidentified sleeping whales, while others think Brendan's tale was an allegory. However, some deep-sea creatures today, like colossal squid and beaked whales, remain nearly unseen. Could Gisconius have been an undiscovered leviathan, now extinct? And if it did exist, what else is still lurking in the uncharted abyss of the Atlantic? 6. The missing royal whale of China. In the early Ming dynasty, Emperor Yongle was known for his ambition to conquer the seas and bring the wonders of the world to China. One of his most bizarre pursuits was the capture of a mysterious whale, an enormous creature that was said to have been brought to the imperial palace in Beijing. Historical records claim that the whale was captured off the coast of China and placed in a specially constructed water enclosure, its enormous size dwarfing the palace grounds. The emperor ordered its care and paraded it for the court, showcasing this unimaginable beast as a symbol of imperial power. But despite the immense resources dedicated to its care, the whale mysteriously vanished one night. No records exist to explain how or why the whale disappeared. Some believe it escaped. Others claim it was smuggled away by political enemies. But the most eerie theories suggest that the whale may have been taken by supernatural forces, a message from the sea gods. What happened to the whale? Did it escape the emperor's grasp, or was it something more sinister? The disappearance of the royal whale remains one of China's greatest unsolved mysteries, with no trace of it ever found. Could it have been an animal unknown to the world, or was there more to the tale than mere legend? 7. The whale of the frozen lake. In the 1500s, Russian folklore spoke of a whale that appeared trapped in an inland lake deep within Siberia. This lake was far from any known ocean, making the discovery of such a massive sea creature both baffling and terrifying to the locals. The story, passed down through generations, claimed the whale was frozen solid, its immense body preserved perfectly in the ice, and its presence was seen as a divine omen. Despite being surrounded by ice and snow, the whale's body showed no signs of decay, and local shamans interpreted it as a sign from the spirits of the north. However, there was no logical explanation for how a saltwater creature could have ended up in such a remote, frozen body of water. Was it a freak occurrence? An ancient relic of a time when the geography of the region was different? Some researchers suggest that an ancient glacial event may have trapped the whale, but others propose a much darker theory. Could the whale have been a remnant of a long-lost, unknown species that lived in fresh water and was subsequently trapped in the lake for millennia? The mystery of the whale of the frozen lake continues to haunt the Russian wilderness, with no concrete evidence to explain the event. What secrets does the ice still hold? 8. The vanishing pod of 1605. In the early 1600s, an entire pod of whales, over 100 strong, was spotted off the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. For days, sailors from various ships marveled at the spectacle, watching as the pod swam gracefully through the waters, seemingly unhindered by anything around them. But the next morning, when the sailors returned to the same area, the whales were gone. No signs of the pod, no remnants, no disturbances in the water, just a silent, eerie calm. The sailors scoured the ocean for days, but the pod had disappeared without a trace, leaving behind only confusion and unsettling whispers among the crew. This mysterious disappearance has baffled historians and marine biologists alike. Some suggest that the whales may have migrated to another part of the ocean, but the speed and distance they would have had to travel seem implausible for a single night. Others speculate that the whales encountered a deep-sea phenomenon that caused them to vanish from sight, possibly a mysterious current or underwater vortex. The most chilling theory, that the whales vanished into a part of the ocean that humans still cannot understand, a place where time and space seem to bend and creatures of the sea disappear without a trace. What caused the vanishing pod of 1605? Could it have been an encounter with something far beyond our comprehension? 9. The talking whale of Japan. In the Edo period of Japan, 1603 to 1868, a strange and inexplicable event took place along the coast of Hokkaido. A group of fishermen reported an encounter with a whale unlike any they had ever seen. As they approached the massive creature, they were shocked to hear clear, human-like sounds emanating from its blowhole, sounds that seemed to communicate directly with them. The whale, described as having an unusually smooth, pale skin, was said to have spoken in a voice so eerie that the fishermen fled in fear. The tale of this talking whale quickly spread through the local communities, sparking rumors of a supernatural being, a spirit of the sea sent to deliver a message. Some claimed the whale was the incarnation of a sea god, trying to communicate with humans. Others believed it was a prophecy, warning of impending disaster, or a test from the divine. What makes this story even stranger is the fact that no other similar accounts of such behavior exist for any known species of whale. Could the whale have been communicating in a way that ancient sailors simply couldn't comprehend? Or was this an early example of a bioluminescent or unknown species capable of creating sounds mimicking human speech? The true nature of the whale and its message remains a mystery lost in time, leaving us to wonder, was this encounter a misunderstood natural phenomenon or something far more enigmatic? 10. The skeletons in the sand. In the 19th century, explorers in the vast deserts of Egypt stumbled upon an astonishing discovery. Huge whale skeletons buried deep in the sand. These remains, scattered in what seemed to be a carefully arranged pattern, were found hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean. How could these enormous sea creatures have ended up in such a desolate, landlocked region? The discovery was made in the Wadi al-Hitan, or Valley of the Whales, a remote area that, according to modern scientists, was once covered by the Tethys Sea, an ancient ocean that has long since disappeared. The fossilized remains, believed to be millions of years old, provided crucial evidence that whales once lived on land before gradually adapting to the ocean. However, there was a much deeper mystery hidden within the arrangement of the bones. Some believe these bones were deliberately placed by ancient civilizations, though no evidence of such practices has ever been found. Were the skeletons the remnants of whales trapped by a massive, ancient catastrophe? Perhaps an earthquake or tsunami that washed them far inland? Or could these whale remains be part of a lost civilization's myth or religious ritual? The story of the skeletons in the sand is not just one of paleontological interest, but also a mysterious, unexplained artifact of Egypt's ancient past. Also a mysterious, unexplained artifact of